All right, 5.5, day 2. Completing the square where A ain't 1. All right, let's do our first example. It's just like completing the square from yesterday, except stankier. 3x squared plus 12x minus 5 equals 0. All right, we're going to follow the same steps from yesterday. Step 1, get rid of the constant. Get rid of the constant. We're solving here, right? So 3x squared plus 12x, leave a space, equals 5. All right, now, step 2 is what you were waiting on yesterday. Step 2 is factor out the leading coefficient. Factor out the leading coefficient. Now, this is not the GCF. Right here we have 3x squared plus 12x. We're not going to pull the x out. The only thing that's going to leave is the 3, the leading coefficient. So, a 3 comes out. We're left with x squared plus 12x. Leave a space, equals 5. All right, now, we're still going to do half of b and all that stuff. Step 3 is complete the square. Complete the square. So, half of b, oh my goodness, I messed up, didn't I? If I want to factor out the leading coefficient, I got to factor off both of them, don't I? 3 times x squared plus 4x. My bad, y'all. So, half of b, half of 4 is 2. All right, I like to write it to the side. So I'm going to add 4 here. But here's the thing. What am I going to add to this side? Before you write the 4 down, think about this. Because of this 3, we completed the square here. We made this 4. But because of the 3 that we factored off, if we were to distribute this 3, we actually added 12 to this side. So we have to add 12 to the other side as well. All right, that's kind of a tricky thing. But because of this 3 outside, if we were to distribute, we actually added 12. All right, step 4 is simplify and factor. So now we're at 3 times the quantity of x, now half of b was 2, plus 2 quantity squared equals 17. All right, and then step 5, of course, was solve or get y by itself, depending on what the task is. In this case, we're going to solve. So divide by 3 on both sides. So you got x plus 2 quantity squared equals 17 thirds. Square root both sides. Now here's what's tricky. We're at x plus 2 equals... Now, I want to split the square root up. First of all, we have to have plus or minus. Plus or minus root 17 divided by root 3. All right, now, before I keep going on x, there's something wrong here. We're not supposed to have a radical in the denominator here, right? So we have to rationalize the denominator. We're going to multiply top and bottom by root 3. So now I'm at x plus 2. What's going on here? X plus 2 equals plus or minus root 51 divided by 3. Rationalize the denominator. Then get x by itself. X is negative 2 plus or minus root 51 divided by 3. All right, so the only thing different today is step 2. We're going to have to factor off the leading coefficient, but that brings this other weirdness. We added 4 to this side, but we actually added 12 because of the 3 that we would have to distribute. All right, let's do another example here. Number 2. Another example here would be, how about negative 3x squared plus 16x minus 31 equals 0. All right, I'm going to be honest. Hold on tight. This one's going to sting a bit. Get rid of the constant. Negative 3x squared plus 16x, leave a space, equals 31. All right, step 2, factor off the leading coefficient. So that negative 3's got to come out, and we're left with x squared minus 16/3 x, leave a space, equals 31. Oh, snap, right? We got that 16/3. What is half of 16/3? Half of 16/3, so 16/3 divided by 2. Put that in your calculator and math bracket. Half of b is going to be negative 8/3. Again, I like to write that to the side so I don't forget. That's going to be helpful later, right? Square that. So we're going to add 64/9 inside the parentheses. But how much am I going to add to this side? I'm actually going to subtract 64/3, right? Because I had to do this negative 3 times that is what I actually added to both sides. All right, so factor. Now we're at negative 3 times the quantity of, now what is this mess going to factor to? Remember, it's going to be x plus whatever half of b was. So in this case, it's x minus 8/3. All right, most of the heavy lifting's been done for us here. Equals 31 minus 64/3 is 29/3. 29/3. Divide by 3 on both sides. All right, so now we're at x minus 8/3 quantity squared equals 29/3 divided by negative 3 is negative 29/9. All right, square root both sides to get rid of that squared. Now, when I square root both sides, I'm left with x minus 8/3 equals, let's see if you follow me here. This is I root 29 over, now the square root of 9 is nice. Turns out to be 3. But because of that negative, that made it I. All right, so it's I root 29 divided by 3. Then get x by itself. Since I don't have to rationalize the denominator or anything funky there, our final answer is 8/3. Oh, snap, but I did forget something, didn't I? Forgot my plus or minus. All right, if you use the square root to solve, make sure you got plus or minus. So our final answer is 8/3 plus or minus I root 29 divided by 3. That was gross, huh? Yeah. One more example. Now, we're going to use the same thing. We have to, with step 2 and everything, except we're going to put into vertex form. Same growth steps. Just take your time with it. We'll make this one a little bit nicer. Y is equal to 5x squared minus 30x plus 4. Step 1, get rid of that constant. Y minus 4 equals, now here's the thing, as you start getting better at this, you'll know that, all right, so I got rid of the constant. Let's factor off the leading coefficient at the same time. So it's going to be 5 times the quantity of x squared minus 6x, leave a space. All right, half of b, I'm going to go pink. Half of b is negative 3. All right, square that. We're going to add 9 to this, but I'm going to add 45 to this side, remember, because of the 5. So now we're at y plus 41 equals 5, and factor this mess. X minus half of b, or plus half of b, so in this case, x minus 3 quantity squared. Now, because we can't solve this, we got two different variables, this is one where we're just going to put it in vertex form. So the last step is just get y by itself. Y is equal to 5 times the quantity of x minus 3 quantity squared minus 41. That's our final answer. Now, hey, which way would this parabola open? It would open up. It would be very narrow. And where would the vertex be? The vertex would be at the point 3, remember the opposite of what you think, comma, what you think, negative 41. All right, completing a square where a is not 1, you're just going to have to factor off the leading coefficients before you complete the square. But when you add things to both sides, you got to be careful. Make sure you multiply the leading coefficient times what you complete the square with to both sides. Spit out!